All right, we're live, Will. It's been a couple of days since that video's been out, and now we're here. Seattle pulling off the win against LAFC. What are your thoughts?
Are we keeping this PG-13, or rated R? Like, what's
I think at this point it has to be rated R. It has to be.
what the fuck was that, dude? What the fuck was that? I mean, honestly, I thought that the Sounders had a chance if this game was ugly. And by God, that shit was ugly as fuck, dude. That bitch was on the top of the ugly tree, hitting every damn branch all the way down. That shit was ugly, dude. And that's what Seattle does, man. If you're in an ugly game with Seattle, they always have a chance, and they're probably going to be the favorite. They only conceded 34 goals in the regular season, and LAFC can't fucking score right now. Bouanga has been a choke artist in 4 matches in the playoffs. Olivier Giroud hasn't done shit all playoffs. I mean, they just laid a fucking egg, dude. And you know what's crazy? Bow down to the master, Stefan Fry, dude. MVP of the night. The old man, the veteran. Absolute fucking GOAT, dude. Get that stadium out in front of Lumen Field right now. GOAT. And that's what we said, right? And that when we previewed, we said Stefan Fry Yeimar was going to be the deciding factor, and it was.
Those two guys balled out. The defense was like, do you think so? A lot of people are saying like Brian masterclass, Jordan Morris did it. Let's talk about that stuff. What do we think in regards to the game plan for this game? Seattle's approach.
There was no game plan, dude. Let's be honest. If it wasn't for Maxime Chanot, this game would have been over. They would have lost. Do you think Brian Schmetzer said, "Okay, guys, in the second half, we're gonna have Maxime Chanot score an own fucking goal"? That did not happen. It was because of the own goal and Stefan Fry not allowing LAFC to pour in goals is the reason why Seattle came up victorious. And who cares? It doesn't matter how you get there. The only thing that matters is that you did get there. They won. They're going to move to the Western Conference Finals for the first time since 2020, right? I don't think they've made it since then. So, and we know this, Cheyenne. Every time Seattle makes it this far, they normally make it
win.
Yeah. So it's going to be a tall task, but man, Jordan Morris honestly wasn't very good tonight, but he was good when it mattered. He scored.
But that's what a true, like, as much as we have criticized him, and me included, that's what you want from your like lethal main striker on your team to win you cups, is these type of moments. And I think finally we've seen him from Jordan Morris.
Yeah, I was thinking when I did a live stream as well, but I did it with my buddy who's an LAFC fan, and I was trying to think. We know that Stefan Fry was the most impressive player for the Sounders, but man, hell, there were so many disappointing players. Like, I think both Roldans were disappointing. I think Rusnak was disappointing. I think that Jordan Morris was disappointing until the end. I thought that pretty much every player on that pitch besides Yeimar and Stefan Fry were nothing special, man. You know, like literally King Stefan Fry, bro. King that dude. Give that man his crown. Like this team. Now, look, we'll talk maybe a little bit about this in a second, but I still have my reservations about this team. But man, they fucking did it. They beat the LAFC for the first time in the Dola era. They hadn't beat them since May of 2021, man.
And dude, the two people that scored in that game was Brad Smith and Javier Arriaga. Those guys don't even play for the team anymore.
And they're also not traditional goal scorers. Like they win in weird ways when they beat this team. And I'll be curious to see if Dolo ends up getting fired. But you and I were both very salty and sour on Brian Schmetzer at the beginning of the year. We thought that his message rang hollow, right? It wasn't resonating with the players. He just beat the LAFC, man, the 2-time Western Conference champion. They're going back to the Western Conference final. Look, the game plan, don't tell me there's a fucking game plan. There wasn't. But the fact is that this team was really bad at the beginning of the season. They figured it out, and they were able to, they're able to go to the Western Conference Finals. So you have to give him some credit.
No, 100%. I think what shows that a team is still willing to fight for the coach is they were able to dig deep. Honestly, things were not looking good at ET. That first half, LAFC were just dogging the Sounders, dogging them. And I think everyone right now in the live and watching this post-live can agree. LAFC were dogging Seattle. I didn't expect us to score an ET. I think Brian Schmetzer's plan was to go to pens. Like, I think after the own goal, it was like, park the bus, let's hope for pens. But then Jordan Morris just came out with something out of nothing. And now Seattle really just, I mean, like, it's just, I'm just shell shocked. I didn't expect it. And do you think this win erases all the losses this season? Because obviously this is the 5th time they played, and they were able to win it.
I guess it does. I mean, at the end of the day, they lost 9-1 on aggregate in all the games they played throughout the regular season, whether it be, MLS regular season or any other tournament or game they played. And at the end of the day, this is the one that mattered the most. This is the one that goes to the Western Conference Championship to try to win and play for an MLS Cup, championship. I'm shocked too, man. But I'm shocked for different reasons than you. I'm not shocked because the Sounders won. I'm shocked because LAFC lost. They have a lot of talent. They are, probably the most premier team in the league of the last 3 years, just because they've been to back-to-back MLS Cups. And they just laid an egg tonight, man. The team played like absolute fucking dog shit. And I just don't know. I'd be surprised if they kept Dolo after this, because each season he has regressed. MLS Cup winner, MLS Cup loser, bounced in the semifinals of the Western Conference final.
That's crazy. Dolo's the semifinal. Schmetzer's gonna outlast Dolo.
I mean, honestly, like, this is embarrassing when you think about it, man. They can't score more than one goal on the Sounders. Now, look, the Sounders were good. Stefan Frei definitely saved a lot, but when you were watching that game, did you not think that LAFC were kind of just like on cruise control? They didn't play
a little bit,
grit, no heart. Yeah. Like, there was just no urgency with this team,
especially after Hollingshead's goal. I think they kind of just thought, okay, we can wrap it up. We know what we're doing, and I think that's what cost them. Because that Chanot own goal, I don't even think half the Sounders players even realized it went into their net. Like, everyone was even I was surprised. I was just like, what? At first I thought it just skimmed wide, but it went perfectly bottom corner. Chanot changed the whole game for the Sounders.
He did. So honestly, should we say Frei's the MVP, or is it Maxime Chanot?
Greatest Sounders striker of all time.
Greatest Sounder striker of all time. Get the fucking bust out at Lumen Field. Get the Chanot statue going tomorrow. Hopefully it looks better than the Ronaldo and the Dwayne Wade statue. But either way, man, do you think that this is the Sounders and the Atlanta are just like the dark horse hero, the underdog? Like
this year, it's just all of like last year. I think the playoffs were a little bit more straightforward. A little bit. There were still upsets, but like this year, it's just upset after. No one has a perfect bracket anymore. Everyone's bracket is fucked. Like,
this is the most fucked up MLS playoffs I've ever watched in my life. Like, it is so fucked, bro. Like, it is crazy. Like, Seattle is the 7th seed, Cheyenne. Or no, they're not the 7th seed. They're the 6th seed. The 4th seed. Okay, either way. 4th seed, man. They're gonna I think it's if Atlanta win against Orlando City and the LA Galaxy beat beat Minnesota and Seattle beats them, Seattle can host the fucking MLS Cup final as a 4th seed.
Seattle hosts no matter what if they make the final.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. I never thought that would happen, especially being the 4th seed. But man, this MLS Cup playoffs is so fucked up. I don't really know if it's cool or weird, or I don't really know how to feel. I kind of got a lot of emotions about it. When all the good teams lose, don't you think that that's kind of, drawing to a conclusion of something's wrong with it?
The thing is, though, the playoffs have been like we've seen it many times where the lower seed team who comes in hot going into like Portland in 2015, Seattle in 2016, the hot team that is kind of in that mid to lower range in the playoffs that is hot going into the playoffs is the one that wins it. And I think maybe we're kind of seeing that here. And I think it does make it exciting because it doesn't necessarily always mean the team that wins MLS Cup is technically the best team. Like, let's be honest, there's been plenty of teams that are just hot at the right time, if we're being honest. And I think that's what makes the playoffs interesting. And we're finally maybe getting that back again this year, especially.
Maybe so, but let's be honest. How long we've been streaming for? 10 minutes. It's just been a long day, man. 3
I
hours.
know, 3 hours.
You know, I'd hate to move on quickly because I know you'll probably do a video about this, but are you a little worried though? You know, the Galaxy are probably the best team in the playoffs. They beat the Rapids 9-1 in aggregate. Are you a little concerned about just LAFC couldn't beat you because they can't score?
Yeah.
Stefan Fry's gonna have to be like fucking walking on water to be able to beat the cheat codes. They're gonna have to be in, man, to beat the Galaxy because they just have so much talent and they're just a really good.
So rewriting off Minnesota.
I mean, Minnesota United put me in their video this past week for their promo because I said they were going to get swept by RSL. So there's kind of like a dig video, like everybody shitting on them. They had me in there talking how I said RSL will sweep Minnesota United.
I didn't know that.
So I don't know, man. Maybe I should watch what I say. They're watching for me to see if I slip up again. They're praying for the downfall. I don't know, man. It's just a fucked up situation. Who knows? Maybe Minnesota comes out there and beats their ass. I mean, just a weird playoff, right?
Seattle would host that playoff game.
And you know what's crazy is Seattle didn't beat the Dynamo decisively. They won on PKs. Both games, right? Both games they won on PKs.
This game against LAFC was looking like that was going to happen again too.
Yeah, so man, this playoffs is just so weird. I don't even know what to think. I mean, the Red Bulls sweeping the Crew and then beating New York City FC. New York City FC beat them every time this year.
I know, it's the same thing.
And they won.
That should have been the sign, was Red Bulls winning this morning.
How fucked is your bracket?
It's royally fucked.
Like, my bracket is unidentifiable. Like, they can't check the dental records on it or anything. Like, they don't know who. They don't even know if it was a person. That's how bad it is. Like, it's really bad right now. Listen, any person who says that they predicted this is fucking lying to their teeth. Not a single person in their nobody, not even a joke bracket would have predicted this.
So the question I have to ask you is, can Seattle win MLS Cup now? We didn't, like, most people wouldn't have thought Seattle would get to this point, but now we actually have to talk about it. Can Seattle win the MLS Cup? They either would face off against Galaxy or Minnesota, and then they're into the final, and they would be hosting it if they win that game.
Honestly, if they can beat the Galaxy, they will win MLS Cup. I don't care who the Eastern Conference opponent is. If they beat the Galaxy, or if Minnesota United is the one who makes it to the Western Conference final, yes, I think they win MLS Cup. But if it's the Galaxy versus them, I don't feel good about that matchup because, like I said, the attacking talent is just so much. And even though Stefan Fry is a king on earth, he would have to be God tier to help them win that game. And it's at the Galaxy. The Galaxy haven't lost a game at home this year.
I didn't know that.
They have not lost a single match at home this year. The only match they technically lost that was a home match was the game at the Rose Bowl for the El Tráfico. They have not lost a single game at home this year. Not one. So that's why I think the Galaxy are just a tall task for anybody because they have not literally lost a single match at home. Man, it's going to, if they beat the Galaxy or if the Galaxy lose to Minnesota United, which I don't see happening, yes, they win MLS Cup. But man, imagine you have to be the first team to beat them at home this year. And this isn't like 5 games. We're talking about 18, 19 matches at home this year. They haven't lost a single one.
That's crazy.
It's a crazy record, right? I mean,
I didn't know that.
You think, dude, Jordan Morris is going to have the fucking game of his life. He's going to have to score like a hat trick to beat them because they just have so much talent. Now, look, Seattle deserves flowers. They're made it farther than anybody thought. They were on pace to miss the playoffs beginning of the year. How many games was it that we were talking about it, joking about it, but how many games was it at the beginning of the year that they didn't have a goal and run a play? Was it like 5 games?
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
So this team has struggled to score goals all year long, man. And I think that that's what's really going to be the deciding factor. And I don't think them playing an extra 35 minutes tonight helped either.
No.
Or 37 minutes, I guess. It's probably more than that.
We can't also forget Yamar's probably injured. Reed Baker Whiting's probably. We actually picked up. I didn't even think about this. It just hit me now. We picked up a couple of pretty big injuries.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's going to be a tall task. If Yamar doesn't play, they're cooked. Honestly, right? I mean, he's the best center back in the league. And you're playing the best attack in the league if it is the Galaxy, which, you know, it could be Minnesota United, but, you know, I don't feel good about it.
Obviously, we'll do a proper preview when that happens, but the funny thing is what people were asking me if we beat LAFC, which this was before the game, like when the game first started. If we play the Galaxy, do you think we would beat them? And the thing was, what I said was, I was like, oh, if we played Galaxy instead of LAFC, I think we would have a better chance. But now that we're here, and now that you say that, now I'm shitting bricks a little bit. I just don't know.
Yeah, it's just a tall task, man. I mean, we've seen upsets this year, but it just feels like it's the Galaxy's year. And
But
LAFC
is it that straightforward now? Like, I honestly don't know. Like,
undefeated at home, beat the Colorado Rapids 9-1 on aggregate.
But we said this about
matches.
the Sounders. They didn't score a single goal from open play against LAFC this season. They hadn't beaten them in 4 games, and then they won this one.
Okay, what was the record this year for the Galaxy versus?
I think it was 1-0 Galaxy in Carson, then 0-0 in Seattle. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, they played in Leagues Cup. Seattle won 3-1.
Yep, there's that game.
Home. Galaxy won 3-1 at in the Open Cup. That was last year, actually. Sorry, they've only played twice. Yeah, so it was 0-0 at Seattle and 1-0 at
Galaxy.
But you have to think that was like, dude, that was the first month of the season. All these players, Peck, he wasn't really in the starting lineup completely at that point.
Paintsel wasn't. Yeah, both the teams were in completely different situations.
Yeah, this Galaxy team is way different than early season Galaxy. This is a team that's dangerous, man.
And you could say the same for the Sounders, I guess.
And also, did Pedro de la Vega do shit tonight besides the assist for Maxime Chenot's own goal? Did he do shit tonight?
Pedro was... I mean, you pretty much hit the nail on the head with the players. It was just Stefan Frei and Yeimar. That's the 2 players that we pointed out that were going to be the reason Seattle advanced did it. Those were the 2 guys.
Look, Seattle fans, because all of you guys are Seattle fans. Maybe you're some fans of me. I don't know. Maybe you hate my guts. Either way, enjoy tonight. You won the game. Stefan Frei's a fucking hero. Buy his jersey if you haven't already. Pray to God that they extend him next year because I think he has an option. And it was looking like they were going to go to Thomas and say, the hell with Stefan Frei. Enjoy tonight. You get a chance to go to the Western Conference Final and beat and potentially make it to the MLS Cup again for the first time since 2020, which is the one. They lost to the Crew in 2020.
In the final,
Enjoy this. Don't take it for granted. Everybody wrote you off, including me and Cheyenne. Obviously, we wrote you off in the beginning of the season. We definitely wrote you off. Brian Schmetzer, hey man, you're a survivor. That's the way I would describe him. He's a survivor. That's what he is. He finds a way, and you're going to get a chance to potentially win another cup. So you got to enjoy it while you can. And you just knocked off LAFC for the first time in Dolo's career. He was like 9 or 10-0 against you guys.
This is a good question, actually, Will, because we talked about this in the stream. I want your opinion because we were talking about, is the Sounders the luckiest team in the playoffs right now? The 2 red cards for Houston, Chenot's own goal, have saved the Sounders playoff run so far.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that, man, it's close because it's hard to decipher luck. If we're just talking about the results of like them not scoring many goals, but somehow finding a way to advance, then hell yeah, dude, buy some lottery tickets at Sounders. Buy some lottery tickets. But honestly, the Red Bulls too, like they beat the best team in the Eastern Conference, swept them. The Dynamo is kind of a weird team where the Sounders definitely should have won that series, right? But the Red Bulls sweeping the best team in the Eastern, well, maybe Miami is the best team in the Eastern Conference, but a really good team in the Eastern Conference, sweeping them and then beating New York City when they hadn't beat them all year long. Those are like the 2 lucky teams, honestly. Who knows? We might see a Sounders Red Bulls final.
That's crazy.
The Lucky Cup is what I'm calling it.
Lucky
you heard it here first. The Lucky Cup. That's what we're going to name it. If it's Red Bulls versus Sounders, we're calling it the MLS Lucky Cup.
Wow, the Lucky Cup, bro. I mean, any final thoughts? I mean, I think we should call it there. I think that's the right way to end it. But what are your final thoughts?
I'll say this. I'm doing a live stream tomorrow for the Galaxy game. I'm going to see what's happening with them, check them out, see if they've been off for 3 weeks. They could be rusty tomorrow. And that's just one
indicator.
Game, Ricky Puig was going off about it. They could be rusty. and it's a single elimination. If they play like shit, they could get eliminated even if they are the better team. That's how this works, right? I think that you guys should be excited about what happened because of Fry. He's resurrected, re-energized, playing very good ball. And you and I know as just soccer fans of a long, being soccer fans for a very long time, goalkeepers can play till they're very old, man. He's only 38. He could play till he's 41, 42. He could have a couple more good years left in him. Anything can happen. That's the theme of this playoff. Anything can happen. And you guys are going to the Western Conference Finals. And I appreciate you letting me do this live stream with you last minute. Guys, like the show down below and subscribe to Rave Green TV if you haven't already, man. Show the guy some love. He just went for 3 hours with you guys and then 20 minutes on an emergency reaction video. Show this man some love.
I think I appreciate that, Will. I think we need to do I think for good luck, we need to do the preview depending on, again, we need to have you back on to preview whatever happens next. I think that's what needs to happen. You're going to be the insider because you're doing the stream for tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to really watch the game. I'm going to try to pop into your stream, but last question I have for you is, I think you made it pretty apparently obvious, but who do you think the Sounders would prefer? Because obviously I think all Sounders fans are going to be watching that game. What do you think the Sounders would prefer? Getting Minnesota to play at home or getting Galaxy to play them away?
100% Minnesota because they get to play at home. If they play,
they have Minnesota's number.
Well, and not only that, but if they play the Galaxy, it's a death warrant. They're having to play the Galaxy at LA, and LA hasn't lost a game all year. If they make it, it's another win in their column. They haven't lost a game all year there. They're cooked, man. They are Chef Boyardee fucked if they lose, if they have to play the Galaxy, just because of the circumstances of dude, I tell you what, every time I get with you, I'm fucking on one, dude. I don't ever talk like this on my stream, dude. I get like that extra juice, I guess, just because, feeding off each other. But look, if they have to play the Galaxy at home, they're in trouble. That's all I'm saying. They're in trouble. Okay. And I'm being honest,
be a taller task.
Just because they score so many goals and they haven't lost a game at home, guys. So you better pray for Minnesota United miracle tomorrow.
Okay. Well, I think that's how we're going to end it. Boys and girls, if you're watching this post live as a video, smash the like button. Let me know in the comments. Do we want to see that preview with Will for that upcoming playoff game? Because we're fucking continuing. I didn't think we are going to make it this far, but the content continues. The season's not over yet. Boys and girls, I hope you all have a lovely day.